All right, thanks for tuning in to our Simplebooth tutorial. Going to show you a little bit about the back end of the Simplebooth website. Already logged in here. We're going to show you how to set up galleries, how to set up app presets or skins, as we sometimes call them, and show you a couple tips here and there. So right now we're already logged in. So if you're logged into your Simplebooth website, with your password, you'll see this page with new photos, new leads, licenses, things like that. Really not worried too much about this dashboard page. What we want to get into is creating app presets. So we're going to go here. We're going to create a new app preset. When you create a new one, if you have one that you've already worked on before that has a lot of things that don't change with your company, such as the email bounce back, or the email address it comes from, or whether you want data capture or certain messages, you can copy settings from an existing one. But we're going to create a new one from scratch. We're going to call it Selena Gomez 2, since we already have a Selena Gomez 1. We're going to show you how to create this from scratch. We've already created all of our assets in Photoshop that we want to use. So I'll show you about that in just a second. Data capture. This is something that you have an option to do if you want to get some information from people that are using your device to take photos. Email, first name, zip code, phone number, last name, date of birth. All of this you can request. Obviously, the more things that you ask for, the more people are going to be a little hesitant to want to do it. This is asked of the user after they've taken the picture and before they receive the picture. So there is a little incentive there. They've already taken the picture, but if you start asking too much of somebody, they might just go, nah, it's not that important to me, or it might slow everything down for you as well. So we're just going to say, all we want is your email and your zip code, because we want to know where you're from. Let's say we're a business that has several locations, and we want to know which one to target you after. Title, we can say something like, let's get your photo, something fun, not something like, we're going to sign you up for our email database and spam you. Probably not a good idea. Info, here you can add a couple of lines. It's going to be smaller than the title, but you can add a couple lines that say something like, give us your information and we may send you an occasional email about great offers and discounts, or whatever seems to fit your business. So, type in whatever you want here, or your legal advisors may have specific language that you want to put here as well. You can make this required, or you can make it optional. If you're going to have the data capture screen pop up, it makes sense to make it required. So we're going to make it required. Again, I would change that. Colors. So here you have some options to change the hex colors for the text and the background that you'll see when people are using the site. So if you have certain colors you want to use, feel free. Otherwise, this is a gray background and white text. It's pretty standard, but if your business is Coca-Cola and you want to use red and white, then go ahead and do that. Hex colors, if you aren't familiar with what those are, you can Google them, and you can even find a little hex color picker. But if your designer or someone like that is going to be the one that sets this up, then they probably can already figure out hex colors pretty easily with Photoshop. Now, when it comes to design, you have an option. The Simplebooth was created to do, obviously, a lot of social media sharing, which is what we're mostly going to be talking about, but you can also create it. As you can see, it's a 2x2 layout here. You can create it for something like that. You can create it for a strip where it's kind of like a printout. You can actually attach a printer to it. We're not going to talk about that today, but that's pretty easy to do. You can use a GIF or a live GIF. Now, the difference between GIF and live GIF: a GIF takes anywhere from 2 to 6 pictures. You can see, you can select them here, and you have a few seconds in between each one, so you can quickly change your pose. Now, a live GIF is kind of like Apple's live photos, where it literally takes them back to back to back to back. Probably, several photos over the course of, just maybe a second or 2 seconds, as quickly as the iPad can take it. So that's your option, what you want to do here. Generally, I change the margins to be 0. You can see that there was a white border around it, so you can add really big margins, or you can take them off altogether. So it really depends on the look that you're going for. You can also do that on your overlay directly. Corners, this only applies to if you have margins at all. Background only applies to if you have margins at all. Your crop, in this case, we're going to pick square because that works best for all social media. Circle looks a little odd. You'll see here. It gives you that background as well. That comes into play, but maybe you have a reason for it. Again, you can do that via your overlay as well. So we're just going to pick square, make it simple. GIF speed, slow, medium, fast, or very fast. I prefer medium or fast. Again, you can play around with it, select one, take some samples, and if you don't like it, you can change it. Effect, I would stay away from doing any effects and let people add their own effects on their phone after the fact. Logo, you generally want to skip logo. It's very limiting. You can include the logo on the overlay that you design in Photoshop. I'm going to show you those overlays that we've already designed. This is actually the background of the splash screen, but here is the overlay. You can see our logos, in this case 2 radio stations, and Selena Gomez signature with a little background kind of overlay of flowers here. Little pink thing going on. So we're going to select overlay, make sure you check that box, and then you upload it. So Selena overlay, here you go, and you'll see the preview here, and you'll see the composite preview over here. Background, we don't have any margins, so again, that's where the background would come into play. So we're going to skip that. Start screen, you just saw the start screen. So generally, you're going to run the machine in portrait mode. So here's our splash screen, which we uploaded there. You can leave the landscape blank, assuming you won't be running it in landscape. Countdown seconds, this is just from the time that it starts till the first picture, and then the start delay of 2 seconds. So you can make this a little shorter. Tap to start booth text. Now, if you noticed, we already had that on our overlay, so we can actually skip adding that because you don't want to add it twice, and it's kind of limiting. So when you're designing this, by the way, this is a full screen iPad Air 2 image. So the size for it is 1536 by 2048, which you can Google as well. Basically, it's a full screen image on an iPad Air vertical. This image here is, as you're seeing it, it's 1000 by 1000, but you can make it as small as 600 by 600. And there is transparency anywhere that you want the photos to be visible. So again, going back to start booth text, we'll uncheck that. Beep sounds, it depends on where you're at. If you want the iPad to make beeps, they're kind of annoying, but sometimes they can draw people in too. It just depends on where you're at. If you're doing a photo booth in a library, you might want to uncheck that. Look here graphic, I like to keep that turned on as a lot of people like to look at themselves and forget to look at the camera. Edit screen, swipe layouts, we only want them to have one layout, and so we're going to turn that off. Shuffle tool, this shuffles the order of the GIFs, of the individual images. Again, it's something that is a little confusing to the user, and it's another button just to confuse people and add extra time, so we're going to turn that off. Background tool, turn that off. Crop tool, we want it to keep that square crop, so we're going to turn that off. GIF speed tool, you can leave this on if you want people to be able to do a slow, medium, fast, or very fast GIF. But again, it's another thing you can just turn off just to make it simpler. Retake button, yep, we want to allow people to retake. Effects, again, we'll let people do their own effects on their own phone. Custom background, if you wanted to add a background to the edit screen, it's really not that visible, so it'd be more of like a pattern that you would have in the background or something like that. I generally don't put anything on there, so we'll leave that blank for our example here. Send options, upload to gallery. Yeah, you almost always want to do that. You can select a gallery if you created it already, or you can create a new gallery. We'll show you how to do that in a second. Sharing, Facebook, Twitter, email, text, Instagram. You can leave all these checked, but most people don't want to put their information. They don't want to type passwords onto a machine that's kind of public, where their friends are standing around ready to put in their own information. So we like to do, and we suggest that you just do email and text. And then they can put it to Instagram, to Facebook, to Twitter on their own. It's very simple, and then they can add their own captions, etc. Print button, again, this is if you do have a printer hooked up to it, and you can push the print button on here. Now, here you want to customize everything that fits your business or your sponsor or your event. You can change it to your photo from the Selena Gomez concert is ready. There you go. Body, you can put anything you want in here, including HTML. So if you want to include links, if you want to include photos, if you want to include coupons, anything like that, just add that in here, paste the HTML in, and it should work just fine. From name, obviously you don't want it to come from Simplebooth, so you can put your own business name in there. And email, you can have it come from a certain person, or just kind of the generic no reply at, and then your company's URL.com. Text message, again, because text is generally limiting on the number of characters. Don't make this super long. You can make it anywhere, I would say, up to maybe 100 characters. And then save options. You can have, if you have a Dropbox and you want everything pushed to your Dropbox, you can do that. Also, this is camera roll on the iPad device itself if you want to save the individual images or just save the GIF. So if I uncheck this, I'm not going to get each individual image. In this case, 3 or 4 images. I'm actually just going to get one final GIF image. So there you go. I'm going to check that back. And so now, if you noticed under the title on the side when I edited, it actually said saved. There is no save button. So everything we've done is now saved. All right, let's go into galleries, create a gallery real quick. We already have a Selena Gomez gallery, but we'll just create a new one. Again, you can use a preset if you have one that filled in some information before. Create the gallery name. We'll call it SG2 for Selena Gomez 2, and hit add. Here's show header or not, dark colors or not. Background color, again, that's a hex code. So if you want to make it a pink background, go for it. Images, you have options for top and bottom of the gallery, along with a website link to each of them. So the top image, in this case, could be Selena Gomez and the radio station logos. The bottom image could be a sponsor. It could say, brought to you by Pepsi. Click here for a free 20-ounce Pepsi coupon. And then it jumps to a website where they can get that coupon. You can really do whatever you want here, or you can leave them blank. Sharing, this is separate sharing from what you saw on the last page. This is when you actually share it from the gallery. So you can put the same things in here. You can put your own hashtag in here. You can pick Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you want to do. Also, Instagram, you can change out anything that you would like as well. So it's pretty easy. It doesn't go directly to the Instagram. You can't log in. You cannot post to Instagram from the web. So that's why it actually has an email here, because it's going to email them the photo to use for Instagram. And it will email them, since it creates a GIF. Instagram does not allow GIFs to be posted. So what it does is it emails an MP4, which is a movie file. So it's actually a movie, and Instagram will loop it automatically. So let's give you an example of a gallery that's already been created. TG Nights. This is Top Golf. If you're not familiar with that, it's a golf. It's a golfing, kind of like a driving range with like an added fun value to it. Holes in the ground, you score it. It's all digital. So here's their photo gallery. See the Simplebooth branding. It did not have any Top Golf branding on here, but this section here is where you would see their branding, and so you can see all of the galleries here. And an option, since I'm logged in as an administrator, that I can delete any of these photos that I don't like. So these guys, okay, we'll keep them. They were kind of just walking by, but it wasn't the most exciting thing in the world. But if you want to delete it, if somebody's flashing the camera or shooting the bird, you can easily delete any of these, and then nobody else will see them. So we're going to close out of this, but as you can see, there's your gallery. And then we're going to show you one other thing under app presets that I forgot to show you is a sharing contest. If you would like to create a contest, you'll see what happens is a section pops up here under data capture called contest. And so let's say you have 10 prizes to give away, and you want to give them away based on encouraging people to use the photo booth. People say, oh, how do I win these concert tickets? Or how do I win this t-shirt? You say, oh, go take a picture at the photo booth over there for your chance to win and share it. So here it's a percentage. So you kind of have to estimate what your crowd's going to be. If you think you might have 200 people that day and you have 20 prizes, that means 1 out of every 10 people is going to win. So we'll set the percentage chance to win at 10%. And wins left, you have 20 prizes that you're giving away. So there you go. Your winner title, you can say you've won. And then you can put over here in the text what they've won if you want to say that. And there is some wording already on the screen that tells you to show this to the attendant. So you can put here, congratulations, you've won a CD. And consolation prize or consolation text you can put in here as well. So that's pretty easy. One final section we're going to show you here is analytics. So under the analytics, you can pop up and pick dates. So if you just had an event over one weekend, you can pick those dates, whatever you would like. Right now we're looking at presets. So presets, app presets, skins as we call it. This is basically use of the device itself. So you can see here how many total pictures were taken, how many leads were captured, how many pictures were sent via text message and email and Facebook. You can see all of this device here. So in June, in July, etc. So total and canceled, you can see how many people were doing what. It's a good way to look and see, especially if you're not on site, just exactly how much use you got out of the machine. Email leads, so you can see there are 201 email leads, which is way less than number of pictures taken. That's because this device maybe didn't have captured leads turned on for every single event. So you see email and zip code are both 201. You can download this data as a CSV file, a comma-separated values file. You can open that in Excel and look at it. It has it has a lot of information, including links to each person's file, each person's picture. It also shows you how long it took each person. You'll see a time in seconds if you look at the CSV file, and other things like that. You can also upload this. The most valuable thing is uploading it to your database, whether you use MailChimp or some other kind of database. Then you can upload the CSV very easily there. Add all these names, emails, phone numbers, whatever you've captured to that database, just like that. So do that, once a week, once a month. It depends on how often you want to do it. Galleries, if you click on that, you'll see how many pictures were viewed, how often. In this case, the most viewed picture out of all of our galleries for the past 6 months was viewed 188 times. You can see the total number of uploads, total number of views, view distribution. Some people never viewed their photo. Doesn't mean they didn't view their photo. This just means it wasn't viewed in the gallery. Most people viewed it between 1 and 7 times. Some pictures were viewed 8 to 11 times, and then it drops off significantly after that. So that is analytics with presets and galleries. If you have any questions about creating a skin or an app preset, as it's officially called, or a gallery, or how to get your analytics or how to use them, please let us know. Thanks, and hope you learned something and hope you enjoy, and thanks for using Simplebooth.